Peace and blessings, everyone out there. It's RJ Mahdi. This is Exodus Radio. Got a little echo over here in the background. Welcome to Exodus Radio, guys. RJ Mahdi here. And this week we're going to have a special show in honor of Women's Day, which was yesterday. So International Women's Day, definitely showing love to all of our sisters out there. And yesterday was also my daughter's birthday, so happy birthday to baby Amina. She turned 3 yesterday, so we're excited about that as well. Shout out to everybody tuning in around the world. You guys make sure to drop us a comment. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Let us know what's going on in your parts of the world. So Exodus Radio weekly Tuesdays, 4 to 6 GMT. That's our time here in West Africa. I want to say it's like 11 a.m. EST. So thanks for tuning in with us every week. As many of you may have seen, even in the news this past week, there's been seemingly some unrest going on in Senegal. And, we here on the ground, we've, kind of got bits and pieces of it. I don't like to talk about things that I'm not well informed on. But in any event, seems like it's cooled down. Time to move on. Was a local issue. Folks got a little emotional and passionate about, and wanted to go out and let their voices be heard. So we just want to make sure that everybody is safe and secure and still spoken for. So shout out to everyone here in Senegal on the ground. We are working with a new team now, training about a half dozen local young people to join our Exodus ranks to help with facilitating some of the goals and objectives of our Exodus members. And so that's been going very well. And so we're going to be rolling out some new programs, new exciting things here over the next couple of weeks. Thanks a lot, Sanayet. Says happy birthday to Amina. Thanks a lot. All right. So let's see here. Peace and love from Detroit. And happy Father's Day. Not necessarily, well, okay, yeah, I see what you mean. Thanks a lot, Ramona. All right. So we're going to be joined here in just a second by some of the ladies of the camp. And they're going to be talking today about, some important women and women's issues, women's organizations, things like that happening here on the continent in honor of yesterday's Women's Day. And so we're going to be joined by my wife, RJ Mahdi. We're also going to be joined by Kenya from Basani, who is the wife of Cheif Foday. And then also Sister Ya will be on here talking with us as well. And so you guys stick around. We're going to be bringing them on here in just a second. Greetings, everybody. Lots of greetings pouring in. Y'all tell us where you're at in the world. Tell us what's going on where you are, because there's so much happening in the world. And that's one thing I'm noticing. It's like, the entire world is either waking up from something or a lot of the world is paying for something that has been done. And so there's a lot of this kind of movement going on around the world. Everywhere you look in a lot of countries, from Russia to South America, they say there's a whole new caravan of Central and South Americans coming into the U.S. right now. I don't know if you guys have been looking at that. So they've got a huge migration, so to speak, going on down there. Donald Trump's half-finished wall is going to half protect those borders. So you guys might have some new neighbors, especially those of you in Texas and the Deep South. All right, so we got PA checking in. We've got Dorchester, is that Massachusetts? Dorchester? All right. Nice. What up, Mo? What's going on? How you doing? How you doing? Wisdom is checking in from Amsterdam. What's going on, family? Shout out to you guys out there. All right. All right. What we got here? Georgina throwing a bunch of hashtags at us. Feminism. All right. It's Women's Day. All right. We're going to talk a little bit about that today. You guys stick around. We're going to be bringing on our guest speakers today. We're going to let you guys hear from some of the ladies themselves. Shout out to Sonia in Louisiana. Also, Edmonton, Canada checking in. Wow. I love all the different countries, like the variety of listeners tuning in. You guys are all around the world, and we like that the message is able to get all around the world, right? So thanks to this thing they call the World Wide Web. Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Cassandra, what's going on? You're in one of my former necks of the woods. Spent some time in Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood, Florida, actually, just outside Miami. Very beautiful coastal area down there. I love South Florida. Probably one of the nicest places I've been in the U.S. All right, shout out to California. Robert Scott's checking in. All right, so this week it's Exodus Radio, and we're paying homage to the ladies. All right, give us 1 second. We're gonna go ahead and bring those ladies on. Um, did you call them? So give us just a second. All right. Hold on while the missus jumps on. Wow, piece from Germany. Now that's dope. What's going on, Kojo? One of our brothers in the diaspora. You guys got to come home, man. Bring all of that knowledge, man. Whatever you're doing in Germany, Kojo, bring it back to Africa, especially if it's productive. All right. Let's bring those skills home. Whoever that was in Canada, I want you guys to hit me up soon, get in our inbox and let us know how and when you want to come and contribute. We will definitely be here to facilitate. All right. All righty. You ready to go? Huh? No, you're not in there yet. Let me see 1 second. All right, there we go. We got it.
Hello, peace and blessings, everyone. Glad to have you all on Exodus Radio today. Um, uh, Kenya is going to be joining me shortly. She is also a part of the Exodus Alliance. And today we're going to be speaking about um, Black women in the community and the family and the roles that we play in the community and family. And what are some of the most impactful roles that we play within society, right? So we all know that Black women are very talented, very diverse, very skilled. There are Black women in, the family life, the home life, and then there are Black women in government, politics, all different sectors, right? So what we want to do is just kind of talk about where we're the most impactful. Good morning to you. Good morning, Kay. Glad to have you on. So, y'all know I don't normally do radio, but we definitely want to talk about these things today because we understand that in order for any society to move forward, it's important for uh, the Black woman to be the center of that, right? So Um, all nations all nations are based on the condition of the woman, of the Black woman. So if we have a nation that is suffering, then we have to look at the condition of the women. If we have a nation that is doing well and is successful, we look at the conditions of the women. And that is mainly because women are the first teachers. Um, so, we're the first teachers in the home. We teach the children, we teach the next generation. Uh-oh. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I accidentally clicked on another app. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Yeah, so we are the first teachers of the children, the next generation. We have a very, very strong impact on the way that a lot of things unfold. So we're definitely going to, let's see, get Kenya on here shortly. All right. So while we're waiting on her, I just want to talk to some of the people who are actually in the audience or watching the show today. Let us know where you're tuning in from. If you're a woman, what you do, what career path are you in? Are you in a career path? Are you stay at home? Do you have children? Right. So I just want to connect with some of the women who are here. Peace and love to you, wisdom as well. Thank you, thank you. Black feminism. All right. Black feminism. That's a good topic to discuss as well. Um, and how has feminism affected us as a people, right? Let's see. The advocacy of women's rights on the ground of the equality of sexes. I always, I definitely advocate for women to be able to be in different positions, to have different opportunities, right? And I definitely feel like there's a fine line, I guess. Um, like I guess for some people, or for some women who are in feminism, their goal is to kind of be exactly equal or in the same positions of men. For me personally, I don't think it's really necessary to be in the exact same positions as them, but I do feel like we can still hold powerful positions. Um, that doesn't necessarily have to be the exact same as theirs. Like we can kind of work in our own lane. Says working as an environmental engineer, hoping to bring my talents to Africa for good use. Absolutely, Cassandra. Absolutely. That's something that's definitely needed here. So if you wanted to bring those skills here, we can definitely find a place for you, and for you to apply those skills for sure. So that's the wonderful thing about being here is just that there are a number of different opportunities available for everyone. All right, let's see. We got a question here. Just wondering what kind of implementation for women empowerment in Senegal have you been involved? As in most African countries, men are dominant, especially in the policy making and politics. Yeah, yeah, you do see that more so here on the continent, especially in certain countries. Um, for myself personally, I haven't really had or felt any kind of limitations because the women that I've been associated with here, we work with here, we've been taught to to compete with the men in knowledge and try to do just as good as they do. So as far as in politics, I don't really get into politics too much. So I'm not really involved in anything with politics too much. But as far as women empowerment, I mean, just like showing people different opportunities that are available, women different opportunities that they can take advantage of here on the ground. Um, just recently, I hosted a class over like financial literacy and forex education, just like an introduction. So with that program, my intention was to definitely assist women here who are looking for opportunities, but a lot of them are stay at home, right? So they need opportunities outside of the home. So something that they can do from home that still gives them an opportunity. So that's something that we've been working on as well. Let's see. I'm a mother, teacher to my daughter, and professional in the IT industry. Awesome. Awesome, Kate. So yeah, like the IT industry is a great industry, I feel, for women. Like the IT industry, it is very versatile. It gives you a lot of opportunities, um, like I said, to work remotely, and also to just, and you can find that balance. You know, I know a lot of women who work in IT and they still have time for their children. They can still homeschool. They don't have to leave the house for too much if they don't want to. And that's actually a beautiful option to have, right? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and welcome on my sister, Miss Kenya. How you doing,
Yes,
sis?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Glad to
Yes,
have you on.
yes. Thank you, thank you. Just a heads up, my internet connection is crazy, so if anything, I'll be right back.
No problem. No problem. I definitely understand. You'll have those days. You'll have those days. All right. So how's the family there?
All is well. You know, we're constantly busy doing whatever it is that we need to do. Um, right now, we're preparing for our executive to come in April. We also have some other people that will be hosting and guiding through the process of citizenship here. Some people actually qualify. So we've been working that out, doing workshops, making sure you are informed, because if you actually qualify, you should take advantage, especially African people. I mean, we need other citizenships outside of the U.S. Most of us are only U.S. citizens, and we know that we're second class citizens there. So you want to always look at your options for yourself or your family and start preparing to make that move.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, y'all
Yes,
hear
thank
that?
you.
People are coming over and getting another second citizenships. And
Yeah. hmm
once you get
You
it,
know,
once you get
I'm
one
really
citizenship in
excited to
Africa, that's a huge benefit.
that. Yeah, that's it's a wrap. Because
Hmm.
then I mean, you can own land, freehold, and other options. You know, a whole lot of other things that you have access to without it. You know, we always
Right.
wonder why those who immigrate to America from different African nations in the Caribbean prospered because they're building up back home. You know, they're
Yeah.
taking whatever resources they have there, they're pooling them together and building their families back, building their lands back. So that's really something that we, especially us, that don't have that. You know, all we do, we're building America, and of course, we don't own much. And then if you do, it's right. I mean, you can get it taken within some taxes or anything. It's gone from your hands. So to have that, that's a strength that we don't even know. We don't even know as a
Right.
people. Mm-hmm.
Woo, you just spoke a whole word.
For real. Yes,
Yeah, that's true. Ownership is key.
it
Um,
really is.
ownership
So
is key.
how are things over in Senegal right now for you?
Everything here with us is pretty good. We had little political issues over the past
Yeah,
week that they've been dealing with here. But things seem to be, calming down, which
yeah.
is
Okay,
good.
that's good. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good to hear. So what's the topic today? What you talking about? I
All
know I came
right.
so late and I saw you building with the family and peace and love to everybody out there. Just to introduce myself, I am Kenya Malinke Mansoray. I'm a Chicago native. I've been living here in West Africa, Sierra Leone, West Africa for over 5 years now. I just celebrated my 5th year in December. So, I'm just really involved in RBI, as you see in the background. And I'm just really interested in building our people up here and there. However we can. We're always big on collaborating. That's why we're very thankful for a platform like the Exodus Alliance, because it allows us that's actually involved in doing other things to collaborate and come together. And it's really good to see you, sis. It's really good to see you.
Thank you. You too. You too. All right. So let's see what we were talking about today. The most impactful role of Black women in the family.
That's a heavy one.
Yeah, because we play so many roles, and
because
yeah.
so many roles. So many roles. But I just gotta speak the truth. Women in general, we're the backbones of our families, of our community. There's a lot of weight on our shoulders, whether people realize it or not, especially when it comes to the whole family building and, making sure that our community is in the state that it needs to be. We play a really big role in that. And a lot of us don't realize that. And it's really good that we're doing this topic today, because that way we can examine the different roles that we play. This is the new day and age. Of course, women empowerment is at an all-time high, which I'm all for, because I'm a woman. But I believe in balance. I believe that each gender played a role, and as we reflect on International Women's Day, which was yesterday, we got to just big ourselves up and just hold ourselves accountable and make sure that we're doing what it is, what part we have to do for ourselves and our communities. So I'm really excited to be here today and kind of go over it. I'm also interested to see what our family and the audience have to say about this topic as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, so it's kind of funny because I said, well, I'm gonna ask my kids what they think my most important role is. And it's so funny because they said, well, Mom, you help us with everything. You teach us, you cook, right? You take care of the house. And I said, well, what if I did none of those things? What if somebody else played all of those roles? What then would be my next most important role? And then they said, well, to help other people outside who haven't eaten.
You are raising your babies right. That is absolutely correct. It's really awesome that you got that from them, just in those 2 questions.
So I said, okay, so no matter what, my role is to help people.
It is. It really is. That's why I say that the role that the Black woman plays in the community is vital. I actually have an all women's group that's sub under the Black Star Action Network International, or BASANI. It's called AWIN, African Women's Empowerment Network. And with AWIN, we really focus on the community aspect, the family and the community aspect of building and the roles that we play within. So, I was just reading a study. I'm in a lot of groups. I kind of see what people are talking about. They were talking about the divorce rate. So they were saying how a lot of women these days, they initiate divorces. And a lot of people were saying that one of the issues is a lot of women are working full-time jobs now, but their roles within the home, their roles within the family is no less than it would if they were a stay-at-home mom. So in addition to having a full-time job, a lot of women still have the role of the nurturing, the cooking, the cleaning, the educating. All of that still has to be done. So something is gonna be happening, something is gonna be off balance. So we have to really understand and really allow our time to be distributed in a way that we're not neglecting our family, we're not neglecting our community, in addition to just trying to earn an income. And I actually came in and heard you speak about women being able to be at home and having jobs that they can actually do from home, which allows them to have more time with their family. It allows them to be more involved with their community and, play those roles in a more, impactful way than spreading themselves thin, working a 9 to 5 or 9 to 7 or whatever just to make ends meet. So understanding that we still have those roles to play, I think shifting our focus within our lives to be able to distribute our time enough so that we're not neglecting our family needs, we're not neglecting ourselves and our community needs is really key. Really key for family building.
I totally agree. I even like in a section of my book, I created a section specifically for women, like businesses that I felt could be beneficial for women, because they're, like I said, we can play many different roles. Women, we can jump into some of the roles that men do, but do we really need to? Right?
Exactly.
Like they're already doing it. So why not focus our energy back to our families and communities and roles that actually can help build us up from the family side, because we're the core.
Exactly, and that's like you said, it's a lot of us are fighting for male positions, and the one thing, because we're both repatriates, we're both in Africa, so we understand the dynamics of gender balance and the roles of the women and the men here. Because I mean, that's very key, clean cut in Africa. There's no blurred lines, there's no gray areas. The women have their societies, the men have their societies. Even within the religion, there's a male female dynamic.
That's the package that you came in, African, Ethiopia.
Done for us in a way here that is really practical. You can really just get in where you fit in and do your job, and everybody is doing what they need to do, and nobody is suffering. No aspect is being left neglected because we feel like we need to do this. I understand that there's certain dynamics that we do need to change, and that's a problem or issue that we should take the initiative together to work with our counterparts to alleviate. But other than that, there's clean cut things that we must focus on within our families and our communities.
Absolutely. It's the balance. It's really the balance.
Exactly. And it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. We don't really have to think about it much. I think being in Africa has made me look at things a lot more simplistic than I used to look at them, because when we lived in, when you're in the States, it's so much that you have to be bombarded with and consider that you don't even have a second thought here. You can just really focus more on yourself and focus whatever it is you need to do to empower yourself.
Yeah, that's a very good point. That is one of the things that I've appreciated about living here the most, is just being able to have time, right? Time to focus, time to think to yourself, right? When you're back in the States, you're constantly running. You're constantly moving. You don't have time to think about how you can, really improve.
No.
It's the rat race, right? It's the rat race mindset that they kind of get most of us trapped in. Probably about 90% of us get trapped in this rat race and in this mindset. But when we actually get an opportunity to come out of it, and you can kind of dissect everything and really start to plan, right? Plan for yourself, plan for your children, plan for your future. And that's important.
It really is. It really is. A lot of times in America, outside of your economic ambitions, a lot of people don't have plans for their lives. you know, maybe they want to go to school to become this, but that's really what they only focus on. They don't really put that much energy into a lot of other aspects outside of making money. And then when everything just turns into, you know, that, like you said, that rat race, you're constantly grinding and having to, you know, become what society deems as important or of status, then you're like kind of stuck there. You know, you don't have the initiatives to do, like you said, plan yourself, plan your life, be able to have that time to just really sit down and focus. And you know, I try to keep in touch with my family as much as possible. And one day I was on video chat with some family members, and they were watching TV. And they should, you know, they was like, "Look at this!" Turned the camera around, and as they were kind of rewinding back to show me the part, I just saw all these commercials and all these. I'm like, "Oh, I do not miss that," you know, because those are that kind of that's, and it's like brainwashing. It's like only for economic purposes to get you to buy stuff that you really don't need, eat type of food you really shouldn't be eating. And you know, that money, that time, that can be literally saved and utilized for your family. You can make more healthier meals. You know, you're sitting up watching Burger King and KFC commercials, and next thing you know, you're going out to get a Whopper or something. You know, you're like, I wasn't thinking about no Whopper.
Yeah, that's true. That and that even kind of falls in line with young Black girls, right, who are looking at these different billboards and commercials and admiring straight European hair and things like that, instead of really embracing how we naturally are. I think somebody just commented, I teach my daughter about the beauty of who she is in and out. I'm teaching her how to love her skin, her hair, and herself.
Yes,
so
that's major.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? Matter of fact, we have a video that we're gonna bring on, showing a little girl loving herself.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, let's bring it on.
That's the package that you came in. African, Ethiopian, Nubian, melanin. Baby, that's your brown skin. You should let me drown in. Let me hold you down in. Hey, let's talk about your crown. It's pointing at the sun while you wanna lay it down. Oh, you turn heads every time you walk around. Bantu knots I love when you take them down. You spend about an hour just so you can detangle. Girl, I see the struggle, got your head at every angle. Baby, you my alabaster, smelling like palm trees, using no relaxer. Even to my lock queens, oh, you give me lock dreams, wrapped up wild. Oh, even when you braid it, when I hold your hand, girl, I feel like we made it. When I hold your hand, girl, Black African queen, baby, you the standard, baby, you the answer. Won't you be my black African queen, baby, you the standard, baby, you the answer. You should be my black.
Yes, I love that video.
Okay, they were getting it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. We actually we have another Facebook page that we manage called That Fly Girl, and we have this video posted at the top, and that video went viral on that page, and so many people. It was so impactful. But it's serious, and you know what? It's a conversation that needs to be had, because one, Black women spend a lot of money on hair. We spend a lot of money on artificial hair to make ourselves look a certain way. Right. And when you really think about it, I mean, that if we were to really just embrace ourselves, our natural hair, how much money is that going to put back into our communities? How much money would that provide for education? How much money would that provide for adequate health care for Black women? You know what I mean? Like all of these other things that we really desperately need, right? If we could take those funds and put it back into our own economies that can really, really make an impact, we would see a huge shift.
Yes, I agree. I'll tell you this too. Since I've been, I've been natural since 2003. I've been natural a very, very long time. And I didn't come out as full-blown natural until like about 2008. I would still keep my hair braids, maybe wear wigs and sew-ins and all that kind of stuff. But now I'm like, wait, I need to really embrace my own hair. You know, really take the time to work with it and learn it. And, you know, because as soon as I take it out, I'm doing something with it, braiding it back up and covering it. And so from about 2008 till I locked my hair in 2016, you know, I was very, very adamant about promoting natural beauty, natural hair. You know, and it's very important for us. Like you said, we spend billions of dollars on my probably weave alone. Imagine what we can do. Imagine if women can take the money that they were using to spend on $200 lace front wigs and sew-ins and all that kind of stuff, and really set that money aside and pooled it and invested it into something that will be able to sustain our future for our children. And I mean, it's a major change, but a lot of women here, in particular in Sierra Leone, I mean, I'll say 8 out of 10 women, maybe 8.5, 9 out of 10 women, you will see natural. And I've had the honor of, you know, touring and guiding elders who have been to many African countries, over 30 African countries, and one of the sisters was like, I've never seen so much natural hair in Africa. She like, typically when I go, you'll see them, you know, trying to do the weaves and this and that. It's a lot of people just braid their hair here, and I've gotten so used to it to the point that when I see weave, it's like so foreign to me. Like my standard of beauty, and like you were saying, the billboards and the commercials in Africa, they're all black. You know, they're black people. Thankfully, a lot of the billboards have black women with natural hair. But one of the things that we have an issue with here is that there is no black baby dolls for the children. Most times when you see a little girl with a doll, it's white. And that's because a lot of European countries and people that donate the dogs, they're coming from white households. So it's something that I've been observing for a very, very long time, and always said we got to do something about it. I did a sit down with one of our members who's actually from Sierra Leone, and she went back to Georgia to complete her master's. We were talking about that. Black is beautiful because, of course, this is Africa, but we have our own issues here too with beauty. We have a lot of sisters that's using different bleaching creams, changing their complexion, changing their eye color, changing their skin. And it's really a reflection of how they view themselves. They don't like themselves as they are. They haven't embraced that. And I think the proper education and the proper examples have to be set so that women can be more proactive in loving themselves and embracing their black beauty. That's really one of the key things, and it's global. We have this issue as black people global because, of course, we're bombarded with white supremacy, regardless of where you are. You know, it's a system, it's a mindset, and it's all about rewiring that. So that's one of the things we were talking about, like all these babies. When you see these little girls with dolls, I used to snap photos. Anytime I would see a little girl with a doll, I'll snap them. And I was like, I want to just share this because you will say, we would never think of, especially this day and age, most of us try to at least buy our children dolls that look like them. You know, we've been exposed to the doll test, the white doll, the black doll from small children, and see how they're indoctrinated with white supremacy at that small age. And to kind of try to reverse that or have a ulterior or alternative way that they can view themselves by us, because we, as long as you're watching television, you're on these YouTubes, they're doing all their promotions and things like that, you're gonna always see white supremacy. So unless you're just excluding yourself from media, you're not looking at that, you're gonna encounter it. So being able to counter that it is to make sure you're giving your children, you know, the type to do, especially because we're the first teachers. You know, a lot of times we're putting the first, dolls and toys in our children's hands. So I think that's one major thing that we have to change and be conscious of.
Yeah.
I remember one sister, she's a new parent, she's young, and her husband, they're a young couple, and she said she went in and her baby, maybe like a one-year-old daughter at the time, picked up a doll, was playing with it. So she bought the doll. When she got back into the car, her husband was like, "Why would you buy that doll? That's not a black doll." She said it didn't even dawn on her. She said she just saw her baby playing with it. It was like, "I'm gonna just buy this for my daughter." But I mean, they're like literally under 25. They're a married couple, and he caught it. And she was like, "I feel so bad because, we're African centered." And I didn't even think twice. I just saw my baby playing with the doll and I thought, okay, I'm going to buy it. And then her husband was like, "Hey, you can't do that."
But this just goes into what I was discussing earlier about business opportunities that we as women can take advantage of, right, in our lane. Because we have the same issue here. There are a lot of like white dolls. Just recently, it was a young lady who started a toy line. Okay. And she has black dolls here, right? Wow. But just think, like, if a black woman wanted to come and invest in toy shops here and get those dolls all across the continent, right? Yeah. These are opportunities for us, and they benefit our children. Yeah. So, absolutely. So tell me, Kenya, who would you say are some of your biggest women inspirations in history?
Oh, wow. Of course, there's so many, I can't even name them all, but of course the elders, Dr. Francis Quest Welsing, of course, Amy Jacquez and Amy Ashwood, they both made their contributions to, our people that cannot dismantle. There's a lot of, Dr. Marima Ani, there's a lot of women that I admire that I think that leading by example, that we can literally take aspects of what it is that they're doing, especially when it comes to the community. That's what I'm always looking at, the women who are advocating us, healthy relationships between male and female, community aspect, the community sustainability and development, aspect of what it is that we do. So, and I mean, there's a whole lot of women that might not be as known. We have African women that literally fought, European domination here. One of those women who might not be as well known as Queen Marcia Rico. She's actually the mother of the Mende tribe here in Sierra Leone and part Liberia. She was a Mandingo queen in Bamako in Mali, and literally came down with an army who believed in her and wanted to follow her, went all the way around, fought in Ghana, fought the Portuguese in Ghana, came down and literally flushed the Europeans from the coast that was enslaving our people and dominated them. Today, they're called the Mende. And a fun fact or unknown fact is that most of our people that's getting tested through the African Ancestry company, the number one tested company is ethnic group is the Mende. And when you understand their role and what they were doing for our people to actually, fight the European power to take back their trade and their people, you can see why they were targeted and why out of the top 5 tribes that's being tested, they're the number ones in America. And I'm just so happy to be descendant of a Mende, So it's just interesting. Today, when you know their culture, you know their history, here in certain things in our culture that you learn about them, like everybody knows, like if you're in Africa, so every ethnic group have their stereotypes, I guess you would say. They do this good, they don't do this good, they're the best dancers, they do this, so when you hear the certain things about the Mende, and then you think about African Americans, you're like, oh my God. They say like the Mendes are the best cooks, You know what I'm saying? They're known for having big backsides, and that's something in our culture. You know, it's really prominent.
Yeah.
It's just interesting to just see the correlations. They're warriors. You know what I'm saying? They have a whole warrior culture, which is why they are today. They have different societies. Then you see why we have our own societies within. And that's really general across the board in Africa when you kind of, you know, compare and contrast. So Queen Martha is definitely one that I wasn't even aware of until, you know, I started doing my research and things. But then I'm like, oh my God, this is the mother. And you know, we're always looking at the male aspect of things. And then you say, wow, this is a woman who created one of the largest ethnic group in Sierra Leone. It came from a woman, and they love and reverence the sons of Mende women. Love that's their mamas like we love our mamas in America. You know, we mama babies first, you know? And so it's just so beautiful to see that, to experience the same type of thing that we have in America right here in Africa. And I'm pretty sure you have that experience with just being there too. Yeah. You know, so it's just
definitely
beautiful.
The women here are, you know, they definitely hold the women in high regard. And I kind of think it's something that's it's like a misconception, right? You kind of hear a lot about people feeling like the women might be oppressed or, you know, they're humble. And being humble is a good thing, but that doesn't mean that they still don't stand in their power. They're not standing in their respect. These women are very, very much respected, right?
Yes.
Up until today, I've walked into many government buildings, and the woman is sitting there at the chair, at the Chamber of Commerce. In the government buildings where you go and, you know, get your residency, it's women sitting there. They're the ones sitting there making sure that it's flowing. So
that's,
you know, we're not oppressed.
Wait, and that's something too, because especially with Islam, most Africans are going to be Islamic versus Christian. And so a lot of us have the misconception, and you know, just on the religious tip, people are people regardless of what religion they choose to practice. But when it comes to the women here that are 70%, 80% Islamic, these women are some of the most freest women I've ever encountered. Like, what we think is freedom isn't comparable to what the freedom is that the women have here in their market society. The women here are very, very much empowered. They are the number one marketers and traders, the businesses. They don't run without the women. They don't run without the women. Most of the people that you see in shops, most of the people that you see trading, especially the local trading, we're not talking about the long distance trading, which is mostly dominated by men, but the sustainable trading that's within your communities, that's within your countries, is dominated by women. Mm-hmm. If women said, tomorrow I'm not gonna do any of this business stuff, I'm gonna stay home, watch what happens to society. Exactly. Watch what happens to society. So when you understand there's different types of power, and when you understand what that is, it doesn't always look the same as what it would look in America. But when you're here and you're living in it, it's undeniable.
Absolutely.
It's undeniable.
So let's jump into another video. This is actually a group of women who are a part of our Give One Project business incubator. It's called the Voices of African Women. So let's jump into that.
Man Sénégalaise laa africaine laa.
réew moo gis mu avancé rek ñaar yi moo ko yor jàng ak liggéey rek.
ak Sénégal am na ndox am na suuf am nañ formation donc dara manqué ñu instant yi ñu gën a góorgóorlu.
léegi ñun africain nañ booloo nekk benn bëggante surtout ñu toppatoo jàng xale yi parce que xale mooy avenir ëllëg.
bul xaar état dina jox liggéey dama nga xool loo mën liggéey dimbali sa bopp dimbali sa population.
tëdd rek nelaw mayewul dara liggéey moo yor réew mi.
nekk gëm li ngay def.
doon nañ ay réew yoo xam ne peut-être ñu sous-développé la woon te léegi ñu dem nañ bu baax te loolu yëpp wàllu éducation moo ko may.
développement buñ ko uti bitim réew buñ ko jéegaani mën nañ koo am fii ci suñu Afrique.
dañ jàppale suñu biir te bañ a xeeb dara te xam ne ñun neen la daal on est ensemble.
entreprendre yombul mais courage bi ak vision ak objectif bi diñ ci am ak dëgër googu moo tax nga egg fi nga jëm.
développement buñ koy def dañoo war a booloo africain def comme les États-Unis d'Amérique yooyu ñoom dañoo jël seen 52 pays def ko benn pays bi ngay nekk benn nation Afrique dañoo war a jël tous les pays def ko benn pays.
lépp luñ bëgg ci Afrique rek yàlla may ñu ko man loolu rek laa bëgg naa Afrique avancé.
Beautiful.
Yes. And these women, even today, you know, they are making a huge impact in the community. They, once they finished the incubator, they were giving grant funding from the Give One Project in order to launch their startups. And that was a really, really great initiative. They started a moringa farm.
Okay.
So this is just one of the many ways that us as women can get involved. Farming is actually a really good career to get into.
Yes.
Yeah, it's one of the best. You know, our sheikh, our spiritual teacher, taught us that, you know, it only requires you to really work about 3 months out of the year, to work the land 3 months out of the year, and then the rest of the time you are pretty much trading, right? So you're taking your crop to the different markets and such like that, but it's a pretty relaxed job. Not only that, I mean, it's the first level of sustainability, being able to feed ourselves. So,
Indeed.
Moringa, I love that herb.
To kind of like, I guess, expound a bit more on that project or the initiative that the women went through, because I also saw that one of the sisters was saying like we need to unite all of these African states into one, and imagine the type of networking that happens when you unite like that. Instead of it being an individual, you have 53 other countries and other women and things like that to kind of come together and exchange, you know, whether it's in economics. So you can just tell us a bit more about that initiative. I think that sounds like something we need here too.
Absolutely. Give One Project, how many countries is it in right now? I know here about 30 countries. All right. Okay. So they're pretty much all over, but
wow.
Owner of it, he actually just launched a agricultural training academy as well, Cham Young here in Senegal. So he's teaching the youth how to farm. So they're really doing some great things here. What was I gonna say? Hold on. I had lost my train of thought. I was about to say.
No problem.
But yes, so if you guys are interested in getting involved with the Give One Project, you guys know you can contact us and we can put you in touch with the director here in Senegal for that. If you guys are interested in agricultural projects, you can still get in touch with us as well. And we can help you all out with that as well. So I know that's something we're not really used to. Like, what? Being farmers? How are we going to do that?
Wait. I'll just say, most of us in America, most of our grandparents and great-grandparents were farmers. I mean, quiet as it's kept, before we were pushed into major cities across America off of our land in the South, we were farmers. So this is really an ancestral justice to actually go learn what our ancestors did to actually sustain themselves, to feed themselves, to sustain their families. You know, we're real big on genealogy. You know, we advocated. And so just being able to learn about my family and connected with family members I never knew about, and them telling me about my family and learning about how much land we had and how much land we donated to the community that's still there, and churches, and our family cemetery. I'm like, I've never heard anything about this stuff. So being able to understand how, and look at us today, you like, wow, 3 generations back, my family literally was like rich. Now we're living in Chicago ghettos, and I grew up in the projects. You know what I'm saying? So it's like crazy how our family went from that, and then having to go and be poor in different, major cities across the U.S. So agriculture is right up my alley. Right now, Cheif he's involved in a project with a brother from the U.S. who has a farm, some farmland that he's actually going to get them prepared to brush, and they're going to be doing moringa. They're going to be planting moringa and neem, solely like for medicinal purposes. So it's just really good to see that, you guys have a resource that can literally come and a program that will teach you this if you don't know it. We all need it. We all need it. So I would definitely be in touch with you because I know what it is that we need to do. And I'm part of the UNIA ACL, and one of my passions is the natural or traditional health advocacy. And then we have the Black Cross nurses, which is over 100 years old. Back then, we were taking care and healing our communities. We weren't allowed to go into European institutions and hospitals unless they were using us as guinea pigs. But when you think about the education, the literacy that they were providing that wasn't available then, they were teaching you how to use different healing methods traditionally to heal yourself. That's being able to grow medicinal herbs, is a game changer for us. Yeah. Because a lot of us are transitioning from conventional medicine, the new age medicine, the chemical-based medicine, and going back to our roots. So just being able to have agriculture, not for food, but for, like you said, for the medicinal aspects of it, the healing aspects of it. And food is healing anyways, regardless, depending on how you use it. But just being able to have that land that you can grow whatever you want to, that's liberating.
Yeah, absolutely. That is definitely something that I myself have become more and more interested in since I've been living here, is the traditional and herbal medicines. Just because you'll find that, it's really the best way. It's really the best way when it comes to a lot of the medicines that are being imported here. Sometimes you don't even want to deal with them, right? You would prefer to just take the natural route. So trying to learn all of these different herbs and, different roots that they have, because here, once you get here, it's in the rawest form.
Yes. It's so many things that I've incorporated into my life for healing that's natural here. Of course, the moringa seeds, different roots that they have here for different things. We'll take a root and do a whole cleanse with it for the week. Certain things, certain elements for your skin. There's so many like dynamic things. I'm like, if I was to go back to the US, I would still want this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't imagine life without it now, It's part of my life, it's part of my upkeep. But I did see that one person did say that they would have loved to come to Sierra Leone, but their ancestry went back to a different place. First and foremost, we're Africans, man. Africa is our home. Congratulations on learning your ancestry in Guinea-Bissau. We know that this whole West Africa was part of the Mali Empire, so we're still one people. We were all targeted. All of our people were targeted. And if you want to come back home, nothing is stopping you. Go visit. Learn, find your family. Learn the citizenship laws. Read the Constitution. Understand the place. If that's the place that you actually see yourself going to, even if you don't have citizenship here in Sierra Leone, or African ancestry to gain instant citizenship, there's still other ways in getting citizenship. I mean, within 5 years, if you do what you need to do, you can become naturalized. This is one of the most easiest places to actually get your citizenship. So don't be discouraged. If you're really interested in obtaining citizenship in Sierra Leone, we do have a workshop coming up April the 3rd. You can go to our Gullah House Media YouTube, or you can go on our IG and Facebook at Gullah Leon and check it out if you're really interested. Like I said, it's nothing difficult to do. If you really want to come home, learn what it takes to come home and start preparing yourself. And that's what people like myself, Sister Aaliyah, Brother RJ, we're here to help you in any kind of way possible.
Yeah. And you know, I always say your vibe, it attracts your tribe, right? So if you're attracted to Sierra Leone, then go to that place. Like West Africans particularly, they traveled among West Africa. Many of them traveled through the land. They intermarried with different nations, right? So we'll find that our lineage is very diverse when it comes to West Africa. So even when we came here, the tests are okay. Like, don't get me wrong, they're okay. But when you come to the continent, they will be able to look at you and tell you what tribe you come from. Like, we literally came to Senegal and they looked at me and told me, like, oh, you look like you're from the Pool tribe. And that's it. And they tell me that every time I go somewhere, people, they might just bust out and start speaking to me in Pool. And I'm like, I don't speak Pool. But I can tell them that. Like, so they know. And that's the beautiful thing about coming home, because they haven't really lost touch with roots and who's from where and those features and all of that. They know.
You know what, sis? That's true, because they're always trying to figure me out. First of all, my name is Kenya, right? Now, Kenya, I'm gonna just be real with y'all. I didn't know a lot of what I know about my ancestry and things. I didn't know before I came here. I was already here when I found out a lot of things just by doing genealogy and being able to connect. My grandmother had took the DNA test for us. So that is what allowed me to connect with other family members and learn of my Mende heritage and things like that. And that was after I came here. Now, when I got here, my name is Kenya. Now, in the Mende tradition, or the Mendes, they have a name for a girl. It's Kenya. So I remember when I used to introduce myself, and it's actually in the Mandinka too. But if you know the history, you know that Mandinka and the Mende are one. So they're gonna have a lot of similarities. So they would tell me like, "Hey, this name, it means beautiful, and it means uncle." Is different variants of it, and I was like, "Wow, that's amazing." But then when I found that I actually have Mende heritage and my name is Kenya, I'm like, "This is crazy!" Like, look at the ancestors. Like, I wouldn't even be able to make this up to find out. And I just had the chance on my birthday to go to visit a Mende village for the first time. And they gave me a new name, so I have a new name. It's Keniva. It's like Kenya, Keniva, Koa, and Mensere. So I have a new Mende name. So I'm just happy. That was my first time ever going to Mende land. And we're actually doing agriculture there now. Yeah, thank you. So we're actually doing agriculture now. They're brushing the land. They're getting prepared for planting. So, it's just awesome, man. And I tell you, I wouldn't even be able to make this up. I've heard I look like Mende. A lot of times people ask me if I'm Fula, Fulani. They see it in you. And then when you go in and you check out your DNA, you like, okay, well, there's Fula too. So exactly. Like they can see it. They can feel your energy. They can feel your spirit, and they'll let you know. Because when I first came here, they'll say, they'll be like, wow, you remind me of this. I think you're this. And they be on point, and you be thinking they're just talking, but they feel the energy. They got similarities. They know themselves here. You know what I'm saying? They've been around each other for thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years. So, of course, they're going to be like, wait, you remind me of this tribe, or this, or you cook like this, or, and then it's like, wow, this is just on point.
Right. You literally, it's kind of funny because you literally do attract to the people who are similar to you, or they're familiar, like they look, their characteristics are the same a lot of times. And like, I've had so many friends here that are probably my cousins. But we literally just like clicked and linked just like that,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's true. It's the energy is everything. It is. All right. So let's see. Let's see here. Let's talk to some folks in the audience. Have any of you guys made it back to the continent yet? And what has been your experience? Let's see. All right. Let's see. All right. So let's see. They said the brown skin is Foday. Yeah. Yeah. I was called Fula 100. Yep. So I think that's probably common for a lot of us that come back to the continent. When they automatically see the brown skin, they assume you're Fula. Even yeah. My first time, ladies. Glad to be here. All right.
Okay.
So
Welcome Nzinga. And speaking of Nzinga was an Angolan warrior queen. You know, so
yeah.
that's a very powerful. We're talking about international women and their
Yeah.
contributions to society, and Nzinga was a powerful force. You know, that's a great name to have and uphold. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So that's actually I have that children's book in the back. That's my kids' book that we read to them at story time. But
Okay.
but I mean it's good. It's good to have that type of information here. And definitely we would like to see more of it too, right? More English literature, maybe even in French, because we're in a francophone speaking country. So to have those types of children's books or even just historical books here are really, really beneficial to the people here. So if we have any authors out there who are looking to bring their books over so the kids here can learn and benefit from it, and we're talking about repatriation and moving African Americans back home, right? We need to have these resources available.
Mm-hmm.
We need to have libraries, right, that have English literature and all of these things available for our kids in the school systems and all of that. So if you guys want to contribute towards education, sending books, even if you're interested in teaching, please contact us. You can contact us on the Made in Africa Project website at www.madeinafricaproject.com and let us know how you want to get involved. All right. All right, so let's see what we got here. Can you post the website where to begin to get knowledge about moving to the continent? Yes. So that is the website, www.madeinafricaproject.com. Do you see it on the screen or no?
Yes.
Okay, good deal. All right, so you can click the website on the screen and that will take you to getting more information about the program and the Exodus Alliance and all of this good stuff. And there's lots of content on YouTube as well. So my husband, RJ, he has a YouTube web page called Africa for Africans. If you go to that page, you will get a load of information about relocating and investing here on the continent. I was supposed to be coming in April, but my flight got canceled. Nonetheless, I'll be there by the end of the summer. Massa not gonna stop me. I know that's right. Yeah. You know, we've been having a lot of challenges with travel lately.
Yes.
But you know, just keep pushing. You will get here. Hopefully before they start going crazy about these vaccines. I'm not sure what's going to happen with that.
See, what's happening in the UK? Our attorney here is currently in the UK, and she's supposed to be coming home in like a week. They just released the statement that there's a travel ban. You have to have permission to leave or enter the country. I said, wow. So, and then with the flights, that's been happening a lot. One of our members, who's executive members, who's going to be coming here, they just canceled his flight out the blue. He didn't even know. He went to check. They canceled it. he had to do a whole new another booking. I'm like, this is just crazy. It seems to happen more frequent now than ever, especially with all
Yeah,
this COVID happening.
yeah. I mean, if you guys are planning to come, my advice is just, make the move as soon as possible, because it seems like the laws are just changing like left and right. Like they're changing them so quickly. You really don't know what's going to happen next. Let me see. We're not on continent yet, but we're planning to born and raised from Ghana, Volta region. Accra is my destination. Okay, nice. So if you're going to Accra, you'll want to connect with Sister Yav from our Exodus Alliance and Sanko for Repatriation. That's a great resource for you to connect with if you need some connections there. Definitely. I'm just kind of going through the comments, guys, and reading here. I need my glasses, like Kenya. I'm on my phone right now, so I keep leaning down. To
You see,
read
I can't scared.
on this small screen, and awesome. Queen Zinga is one of your ancestors. They gave it to you
Oh,
through prayer and
wow.
meditation.
Ashe.
Wow, that's powerful.
Yeah, that is.
That's powerful. Some other some women that they don't really talk about often is the Queen Inari. You familiar with Inari? Inari was actually one of Mansa Musa's wives.
Okay.
Yeah, she was the first wife to Mansa Musa, and actually one of his favorites. They don't have a lot on her. I've tried to do some research. I couldn't find much online. The most that they tell you was she was the favorite wife, and he went to the extent of hiring one of the best architects in the world to come and build her a pool during their travels. So during one of his travels,
Yeah, so she bathe.
yeah.
Yeah,
So she
right.
loved to
Imagine.
swim.
Yeah, imagine your husband having them construct a whole pool for you in the middle of the desert so you can bathe.
Exactly.
That's power, right?
It is. I said, well, she must have been a phenomenal woman for that man to go to that extent for her. And it could have even just been in her supporting him during his travels and being there with him throughout his travels, So it's powerful. So that just shows us as women how much that the impact that we can have on our men as well.
Yes.
And uplifting them so that they can be great, and they can be great for us and our families and our communities, because eventually it will rise to that. Excuse me.
Right. I'll say another pioneer for me is Ida B. Wells. I'm a Chicago native, as I said, and Ida B. Wells was very prominent in Chicago. She actually was born down south, but she passed away. She was really big during the time where our ancestors were being lynched, and she was very vocal in pushing women empowerment. A lot of the African, what we call the African woman or womanism, it was pioneered by her. She inspired a lot of the women's suffrage movement for European women. Now, we have to always remember, although we're women, as African women, our struggle has not been identical to white women with their men. So we should never take on their ideas of what family is, because we're different. I mean, right. Our cultural practices, the way we do, our perception, dominance, we're still subjected to them. So when we think of women like Ida B. Wells, she was very, very key, very vocal. When you talk about women, you talk about Billie Holiday, what she had to go through because she was talking about what was happening to our men. You know what I'm saying? And who she was at that time for our music. So, you have to give homage where it's due. We have to give our ashes and reverence to these ancestors who laid the path for us that we're walking today.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, so next we're actually going to get into another clip about Shirley Chisholm, one of the first Black women to run for president. All right, so we got a new. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the video.
Black woman to run for president.
I am the candidate of the people of America.
Meet Shirley Chisholm. Born in Brooklyn in 1924, Shirley was raised in the neighborhood she would go on to represent in Congress. After graduating from Brooklyn College, she worked as a teacher and eventually became an education consultant for the state of New York. She developed a passion for politics and in 1968 ran for the House of Representatives with the slogan that would become her catchphrase, unbossed and unbought.
I am the only unbought and unbossed politician. And I mean that literally. And I think that you have to recognize that because I am not white and because I'm not a male, that I am not going to get the blessings of the power structure in this country.
Shirley won her seat with 67% of the vote, making her the first Black woman elected to Congress, and hired an all-female staff for her Washington office. Shirley made history again in 1972 when she announced she was running for president, the first Black woman to do that as well.
I stand before you today as a candidate for the Democratic nomination for the presidency of the United States of America.
After a hard-fought campaign, Shirley lost the nomination and returned to Congress, where she served 7 terms. In 1982, she returned to teaching and began speaking, urging young people to get involved in politics.
People, we have it within our grasp. We have it within our grip. We have it. We can turn things around in this country.
Shirley died in 2005, but her life story continues to inspire. She's been honored with a stamp and a state park, and soon a statue. Uzo Aduba will portray her on the small screen.
I want to be remembered.
Wow.
Very, very, very powerful. I like the unbossed and unbought.
Yes. My
Those are
mom
some powerful
always told me, I got these glasses years ago. My mom said, oh, you got the Shirley Chisholm glasses. You got the Shirley Chisholm glasses. Oh, so it's just an honor.
Awesome. Yep, I do have those same glasses. So, hey, we one and the same. That's funny. Yes, so that's huge. Unbossed and unbought. So talking about a woman, and we know in politics specifically,
Yes.
many politicians are bought out.
Yeah.
So when you have a woman, a Black woman, stand up and say something like that level of respect, like, okay, she did this grassroots from the ground up, and she really had nobody to support her.
Right.
So that's so much power in that statement. That's
right. And it really goes to show you how sufficient she would have been if she would have actually won, because she's in politics and had 7 additional terms. So you're like, wow, just imagine if she was in the forefront for us. And we always know that women, we make sure that we're like one of the, most selfless people within our communities, because we have to care for everybody. We have to care for our children. We have to care for our mates. We have to care for the elders. So when women are in power, a lot of times they tend to distribute things evenly, or you understand, and make sure that everyone has what they need to grow, to get by. So our lives wouldn't be what they are today if Shirley Chisholm would have won.
Yeah, absolutely.
America won't be what it is today.
I agree. Even here, like our story with us relocating here to the continent, um, without the women who were here to support and help me, right, get through this, it would probably wouldn't have been possible. And these women are from like the Medina Bay community, which is an Islamic city, but these women, they're powerful. They making moves, right? They're Hafiz's Quran. They've memorized the entire Quran, and you know
Wow.
they taking care of the children. They're feeding the whole village, right? Cooking, making sure everybody eats. They got schools, and they're educating everybody, right? You want to come study? We have schools for you to come study in. So you know, to be around women like that who are making such a huge impact on their society, just within their, you know, within their realm right there. And not even, I won't even just say within their realm, with people, women all over the world, who come to study up under them and to learn, right? So that is a powerful thing. I'm grateful to to have witnessed it, right?
Yes.
But it definitely has helped. I can say that those women, I was able to see those women um, be able to stand in their power without stepping on their men, and it's a grace. It's grace. Oh, we lost Kenya. Okay.